A VLOOKUP formula essentially helps you move data from one place to another using a unique identifier or a combination of unique identifiers, but we can get into how to make it better in later videos. For starters, a basic VLOOKUP formula in its simplest form has 4 parts of it. 1 is the key, 2 is the range, 3 is the index, and 4 is telling you whether or not it's sorted. The key is there to ask you what is the formula looking for, right? So essentially in this case, if I want to say, so in this case, if I have the ID number for Larry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I need to know, hey, what is the name of the person? What is the name of a person who belongs to this ID number? So what I would do is I would look over here in my fancy little range here, and I'd say, okay, this is the key. This is what I'm looking for here. So that's the search key. So in this case, my search key is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next, it's asking you for the range. Now, the range always has to have the search key in its first column. This is, I think, one of the stickier points that people get confused about. Wherever your range is, so if your key is the ID number, that's great. Then your range starts with A, right? And you always want to make the range go at least as far as the result that you want. So if I want name, it would go A, B, but it doesn't really hurt to make it go further either. So in this case, I would say range is A through B. Now, a lot of people think that when you do the range, you have to kind of give it that little dollar sign. You have to be very specific. A lot of times in examples, you'll see a dollar sign 1 through C dollar sign 4. But if you ask me, that's really hard. Just A through C will work just fine. There's nothing wrong with that. The index is which column it should return. Another thing that I think people have trouble remembering sometimes, certainly made me stumble when I first started, is that the index actually always counts the first column as itself. So if I'm trying to return name, I'm actually returning index number 2. And it's also a number. It's not like I can say, hey, just give me column B. I have to give it a number. So it's A, B, which is 1, 2. If I wanted to return the favorite color, it would be 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. And the last one is whether or not it's sorted. I'm going to be perfectly honest, even though Google Sheets documentation says it's optional, it is not optional. You will always want to include the word false every single time. Trust me, it just makes things easier. So let's go ahead and build this. So our key is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our range is A through C. Our index is 2 if we're returning the name, and 3 if we're returning the favorite color. And whether or not it's sorted is false. So for name and favorite color, I'm going to say equals VLOOKUP. And I am looking for a key, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my range is, like we said, A through C. My index is 2, and this is false. There you go. It's Larry. Now, if I wanted to do the favorite color, I would just copy this over. There's other faster, easier ways to do this, but let's stay simple for today. And this would be a 3. And our favorite color for Larry is auburn. Now I can go in. I've hard-coded this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Usually I wouldn't do that. Instead, I would use a reference, especially because when you're doing this, it's much more valuable to do it on large amounts of data. And so my reference in this case is actually I2, right? Because that is where I have put Larry's ID number. So in this case, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives me Larry Auburn. Larry and Auburn. Apparently I can't say Auburn. So in this case, I've got Larry and his favorite color, Auburn, and that's his ID number. The value of this is now I can go and choose the other one, which is 32165, and that changes me to Moe and Beige. If I chose 2589896, I get curly and violet. Now, as you can imagine, it's a little bit silly in this small sample set, but as your sample sets get larger and larger and larger, the ability to just take a row and move down and be able to pull a value from any other place in your spreadsheet, including across spreadsheets, which we can talk about later, is extremely valuable.
Thanks for watching. Drop your questions and comments down below and give us a thumbs up if you found this helpful. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and join our exclusive IT community at tabgeeks.com.